Hi students, good evening. Now we see class 12 economics, macroeconomics, term 1, chapter-wise MCQs, chapter government budget and the economy. Question number 1, the amount received by the government in the form of interest, fees and dividend is known as A. Tax revenue receipts, B. Capital receipt, C. Non-tax revenue receipts, D. None of these. The answer is correct. C. Non-tax revenue receipts. Question number 2. Financial year runs from option A 1 April to 31 March, option B 1 January to 31 December, C 1 March to 28 February, D none of these. Correct. The answer is option A 1 April to 31 March. Question number 3. The amount received by the government in the form of taxes and duties is known as option A. Capital receipts, B. Tax revenue receipts, C. Non-tax revenue receipts, D. All of these. Correct. The answer is B. Tax revenue receipts. Question number 4. What is the objective of government budget? A. Economic development, B. Balanced regional development, C. Redistribution of income and wealth, D. All the above. Correct. The answer is D. All the above. Question number 5. The expenditures with neither create an asset nor reduce an liability for the government is called A. Revenue expenditure, B. Capital expenditure, C. Both A and B, D. None of the above. Correct. The answer is revenue expenditure. Question number 6. Which deficit indicates the borrowing needs of a government? A. Budgetary deficit, B. Revenue deficit, C. Primary deficit, D. Fiscal deficit. Correct. The answer is D. Fiscal deficit. Question number 7. Which of the following is not an objective of government budget? A. Redistribution of income and wealth, B. Export promotion, C. Social welfare, D. Economic stability. Correct. The answer is B. Export promotion. Question number 8. What is the period for which a government budget is prepared? A. 2 years, B. 1 year, C. 5 years, D. None of these. Correct. The answer is B. 1 year. Question number 9. What does the government budget represent? Option A. Actual revenue and estimated expenditure, B. Estimated revenue and actual receipt, C. Estimated receipt and estimated expenditure, D. All of these. Correct. The answer is C. Estimated receipt and estimated expenditure. Question number 10. Corporate tax and income tax are examples of which tax? A. Indirect tax. B. Direct tax. C. Wealth tax. D. None of these. Correct. The answer is B. Direct tax. 11. Disinvestment in is which type of receipt for the government? A. Capital receipt. B. Revenue receipt. C. Both A and B. D. None of these. Correct. The answer is A. Capital receipt. Question number D. Tax whose burden cannot be shifted is termed as A. Direct tax. A. Indirect tax. B. Direct tax. C. Both A and B. D. None of these. Correct. The answer is direct tax. B. Question number 13. The source of neet fiscal deficit are A. Borrowings from public. B. Borrowings from external sources. C. Deficit financing. D. All of these. Correct. The answer is D. All of these. Question number 14. Which budget is prepared by the central government? A. General budget. B. Zero-based budget. C. Union budget. D. None of these. Correct. The answer is C. Union budget. Question number 15. Components of the budget are A. Revenue budget. B. Capital budget. C. Both A and B. D. None of these. Correct. The answer is C. Both A and B. Question number 16. Which of the following is treated as capital receipt? A. Recovery of loans. B. Interest received on loans. C. Gifts and grants. D. Excheats. Correct. The answer is A. Recovery of loans. Question number 17. Receipt from post office, deposits and Kishan Vikas Patras is treated as A. Capital receipt. B. Revenue receipt. C. Both A and B. D. None of these. Correct. The answer is A. Capital receipt. Question number 18. Which expenditure will either create an asset or reduce the liability of the government? A. Revenue expenditure. B. Capital expenditure. C. Capital receipt. D. Revenue receipt. Correct. The answer is A. Revenue expenditure. 19. Question. Subsides and expenditure on scholarship are the examples of A. Revenue expenditure. B. Capital expenditure. C. Capital receipt. D. Revenue receipt. For the question number 18, the answer is B. Capital expenditure. Here, for question number 19, the answer is A. Revenue expenditure. Question number 20. If the government estimated receipts are less than estimated expenditure, then it is termed as A. Deficit budget. B. Surplus budget. C. Balanced budget. D. All of these. Correct. The answer is A. Deficit budget. Question number 21. The revenue deficit can be reduced by A. Reducing government expenditure. B. Increasing source of revenue. C. Reducing tax evasion. D. All of these. Correct. The answer is D. All of these. Question number 22. DAS is an annual statement showing estimated receipt and expenditure of the government during a fiscal year. A. Government budget. B. Government receipt. C. Government payment. D. None of these. Correct. A. Government budget. Question number 23. Union budget is the budget of dash. A. State government. B. Central government. C. Union territory. D. All of these. Correct. The answer is B. Central government. Question number 24. Dash is or objective of government budget. A. Economic stability. B. Regional equality. C. Reduction of poverty. D. Both A and B. Correct. The answer is D. Both A and B. Question number 25. The components of government budget are A. Revenue budget. B. Capital budget. C. Both A and B. D. None of this. Correct. The answer is C. Both A and B. Question number 26. Dash receipts are recurring in nature. A. Revenue. B. Capital. C. Both A and B. D. None of these. Correct. The answer is A. Revenue. Question number 27. Dash receipts are non-recurring in nature. A. Revenue. B. Capital. C. Both A and B. D. None of these. Correct. The answer is B. Capital. Question number 28. Dash revenue and dash revenues are the sources of revenue receipts. A. Tax. B. Non-tax. C. Both A and B. And D. None of these. Correct. The answer is C. Both A and B. Question number 29. Revenue receipts neither create or nor reduce the dash of the government. A. Liability and asset. B. An asset liability. C. Revenue expenditure. D. None of these. Correct. The answer is B. An asset liability. Question number 30. Capital gains tax is an example of dash tax. A. Direct tax. B. Indirect tax. C. Both A and B. D. None of these. Correct. The answer is A. Direct tax. Question number 31. Interest and escheats are the examples of dash receipts. A. Tax revenue. B. Non-tax revenue. C. Both A and B. D. None of these. Correct. The answer is non-tax revenue. Question number 32. Dash either creates a liability or reduces the asset of the government. A. Revenue receipt. B. Capital receipt. C. Revenue expenditure. D. Capital expenditure. The answer is correct. Capital receipts. Question number 33. In case of some capital receipts, there is a dash to return the amount with the interest at a future date. A. Future obligation. B. Contingent obligation. C. Post obligation. D. None of this. Correct answer is A. Future obligation. Question number 34. Dash is an example of capital receipt. A. Interest. B. Escheats. C. Borrowings. D. All of these. Correct. The answer is C. Borrowings. Question number 35. When the estimated receipt is equal to the estimated expenditure, the budget is said to be a dash. A. The surplus. B. Deficit. C. Balanced. D. None of these. Correct. The answer is C. Balanced. Question number 36. Revenue expenditure is dash where the capital expenditure is dash in nature. A. Non-recurring, recurring. B. Recurring and non-recurring. C. Both A and B. D. None of these. Correct. The answer is B. Recurring and non-recurring. Question number 37. The formula for fiscal deficit is A. Fiscal deficit is equal to total expenditure minus total receipt excluding borrowings. B. Fiscal deficit equal to total expenditure minus total receipt. C. Fiscal deficit equal to total expenditure minus total receipt excluding capital receipt. D. None of these. Correct. The answer is A. Fiscal deficit is equal to total expenditure minus total receipts excluding borrowings. Question number 38. Revenue deficit is computed as dash. A. Revenue deficit is equal to revenue expenditure minus total receipt. B. Revenue deficit is equal to revenue expenditure minus revenue receipt. C. Revenue deficit is equal to revenue expenditure minus revenue receipt. Both are same, I think. D. None of these. Correct. The answer is B. Revenue deficit is equal to revenue expenditure minus revenue receipts. Question number 39. Primary deficit is computed as A. Primary deficit is equal to revenue deficit minus interest payment. B. Primary deficit is equal to fiscal deficit minus interest received. C. Primary deficit is equal to fiscal deficit minus interest payment. D. None of these. Correct. The answer is C. Primary deficit is equal to fiscal deficit minus interest payment. Question number 40. A zero primary deficit indicates forced borrowings of the government due to interest commitment on A. Earlier loans, B. Future loans, C. Both A and B, D. None of these. Correct. The answer is earlier loans. Question number 41. Read the following statement given below and choose the correct alternative. Statement 1. Economic stability refers to the absence of fluctuations in the price of goods and services. Statement 2. Economic instability discourages investment. A. Both are correct. B. Both are wrong. Statement 1 is correct and statement 2 is wrong. D. Statement 2 is correct and statement 1 is wrong. Correct. The answer is both are correct. Option E. Question number 42. Read the following statement given below and choose the correct alternative. Statement 1. Government imposes high rate of income tax on higher income groups. Statement 2. Low income groups pay high amount of tax. Option A. Both are correct. Option B. Both are wrong. Statement 1 is correct and statement 2 is wrong. D. Statement 2 is correct and statement 1 is wrong. Correct. The answer is C. Statement 1 is correct and statement 2 is wrong. Question number 43. Read the following statement given below and choose the correct alternative. Statement 1. In case of inflation, government decreases rate of tax. Statement 2. In case of deflation, government increases the rate of tax. A. Both are correct. B. Both are wrong. C. The statement 1 is correct. D. Statement 1 is wrong and statement 2 is correct. Correct. Both are wrong. Option B. Question number 44. Read the following statement given below and choose the correct alternative. Statement 1. Revenue deficit occurs when revenue expenditure is more than revenue receipts. Statement 2. Fiscal deficit is the excess of budget expenditure over budget receipts. A. Option A, both are correct. Option B, both are wrong. Option C, statement 1 is correct and statement 2 is wrong. D. Statement 2 is correct and statement 1 is wrong. Correct. The answer is C. Statement 1 is correct and statement 2 is wrong. Question number 45. Read the statement given below and choose the correct alternative. Statement 1. Physical deficit includes borrowings to create a loan. Statement 2. Fiscal deficit depicts borrowings required to meet the current year budget expenditure. Option A, both are correct. Option B, both are wrong. Option C, statement 1 is correct and statement 2 is wrong. Option D, statement 1 is wrong and statement 2 is correct. The answer is statement D. Option D, statement 1 is wrong and statement 2 is correct. Question number 16. Choose the correctly matched pair from the given alternative. Column A, column B. A. Income tax, the tax on corporate profits. B. Corporate tax, the tax on income individuals. Wealth tax. 3. The tax on wealth of individual. Option A, A1, B, B2, C, C3. Correct. The answer is C, C3. Choose the correctly matched pair from the given alternative. Column A, column B. A. Government takes the resort to a surplus budget. A. 1. Reduces liability. B. Revenue expenditure. 2. To solve the problem of excess demand. C. Lending. 3. Creates assets. D. Repayment of loan. 4. Expenditure on government hospitals and school. Here the option is A3, B2, C, C4, D, D1. Correct. The answer is D, D1. Question number 48. Choose the correctly matched pair from the given alternative. Column A, column B. 1. Surplus budget. A. Used to correct inflation. 2. Deficit budget. B. Budget expenditure equal to budget receipt. C. Balanced budget. 3. Balanced budget. C. Revenue deficit and fiscal deficit. 4. Types of deficit budget. D. Used by underdeveloped countries. Options are here. A. A1, B, B2, C, C3, D, D4. Correct. The answer is A, A1. Question number 49. Period to 1991, the central government owned 100% of the shares of public sector undertakings. Consequently, it started Consequently, it started selling its shares to general public and financial institutions. This situation is known as A. Planned expenditure, B. Disinvestment of PSUs, C. Borrowing, D. Mismanagement. B. Disinvestment of PSUs. Question number 50. Loans recovered by the central government from state and local government or capital receipt because A. It creates liability. B. Reduce unnecessary expenditure. C. Of fiscal mismanagement. D. It reduces assets. Correct. The answer is D. It reduces assets. Question number 51. Read the following statement given below and choose the correct alternative. Assessment A. To increase the rate of investment, the government makes direct investment in public sector units. Reason or investment by the government indicates to the private sector to make investment. A. Both assertion and reason are true. Reason is the correct explanation of assertion. B. Both assertion and reason are true. Reason is not the correct explanation of assertion. C. Assertion is true, but reason is not. D. The reason is true, but assertion is false. Correct. The answer is B. The answer is A. Both assertion and reasons are true. Reason is the correct explanation of the assertion. Question number 52. Read the following statements given below. Yes, government offers various types of concessions of these products. A. Both assertion and reasons are true. Reason is not the correct explanation of assertion. B. Both assertion and reason are true. Reason is the correct explanation of assertion. C. Assertion is true but reason is not. D. Reason is true but assertion is not. Correct. The answer is C. Assertion is true but reason is not. Question number 54. Read the following statement given below and choose the correct alternative. Assertion A. Government imposes high rate of income tax on higher income groups. Reason. Low income groups are unable to pay the high taxes. Options. A. Both assertion and reasons are true. Reason is the correct explanation of assertion. B. Assertion is true but reason is not. C. Both assertion and reasons are true. Reason is not the correct explanation of assertion. D. Reason is true but assertion is not. Correct. The answer is C. Both assertion and reasons are true. Reason is not correct explanation of the assertion. Question number 55. Read the following statement given below and choose the correct alternative. Assertion A. Government increases the rate of tax and imposes new taxes and reduces the expenditure. Reason or government take resort of deficit budget to solve the problem of deflation. A. Both assertion and reasons are true. Reason is the correct explanation of assertion. B. Both assertion and reasons are true. Reason is not the correct explanation of assertion. C. Assertion is true but reason is not. D. Reason is true but assertion is not. Correct. The answer is B. Both assertion and reasons are true. Reason is not the correct explanation of assertion. Question number 56. The excess of budget expenditure over budget receipts excluding dash is called fiscal deficits. Fill in the blank with the correct alternative. A. Borrowings. B. Revenue receipts. C. Revenue expenditure. D. Capital expenditure. Correct. The answer is A. Borrowings. Question number 57. Read the following statement given below and choose the correct alternative. Statement 1. Fiscal deficit indicates requirement of borrowing to meet budget expenditure. Statement 2. Fiscal deficit indicates management and discipline of government. A. Both are correct. B. Both are correct. C. Statement 1 is correct and statement 2 is wrong. D. Statement 1 is wrong and statement 2 is correct. Statement C. Answer is option C. Statement 1 is correct and statement 2 is wrong. Question number 58. Choose the correctly matched pair from the following. Column A, column B. A. Borrowings of government from foreign government. One leads to interference in the formulation of domestic policies. Leads to the interference in formulation of domestic policies. B. Revenue expenditure. 2. Reduces investment capacity of future generations. C. Burden to pay loan along with interest. 3. Consider non-consumption expenditure. A. A1. B. B2. C. C3. Correct. The answer is option A. A1. Question number 59. Read the following statement given below and choose the correct alternative. Assertion A. As a result of the fiscal deficit, government gets caught in an unending cycle of debt trap. Reason or to meet its expenses, government increases that borrowing, which eventually increases the fiscal deficit. A. Both assertion and reasons are true. Reason is the correct explanation of assertion. B. Both assertion and reasons are true. Reason is not the correct explanation of assertion. C. Assertion is true but reason is not. D. Reason is true but assertion is not. Correct. The answer is option E. Both assertion and reasons are true. Reason is correct explanation of assertion. Question number 16. Fiscal deficit is the sum of the. Choose the alternative. A. Primary deficit and interest payment. B. Borrowings and disinvestment. C. Expenditure and receipts. D. Capital and revenue expenditure. Correct. The answer is option A. Primary deficit and interest payment. Question number. Before that, read the given case study and answer the questions given below. Question number 61. Before we go to question number 61, this is the case studies. Carefully we read and answer that. 1. Revenue budget. Revenue budget contains the two sorts of income receipts of public authority, that is tax income and non-duty income and revenue use. 1. Revenue receipts. These are the receipts that neither make any obligation nor decrease in resources of the public authority. It incorporates charge incomes like personal duty, company charge, and non-charge income like fines and punishment, and unique appraisals and escheats, and so forth.